Hello, Knockouts. Tanya TKO here. And as you know, I am a self love specialist from TanyaTKO.com. I help you learn how to love yourselves and one another. On this channel, we use viral video topics as teachable moments for what self loving or self abusing looks like in our own lives. And today we have a really sad story coming forward about a beloved, famed rapper that many of you have heard of, danced to, listened to, grew up with, and loved in your own way. DMX. It is being reported that he overdosed and is in critical care, critical condition, and that he may not survive. Some reports are saying that he's brain dead. Other reports are saying that there is very little brain activity, and some other reports say that he's just in stable condition. So because of HIPAA rules, HIPAA laws, only people privy to medical information and medical knowledge have that. I'm going to read the TMZ article with you all. We're going to look at some Iyanla footage. We're going to read some background on who DMX is, and if you all have information that you feel that we should know during the broadcast, you can always send it to me. TanyaTKO.com, click on contact. You can send me something there. If you have a message, a comment that's urgent, you need it read on air, or you just want me to be able to see your comment or other people to hear it, I will be reading comments that you text over to me through the Cash App. Cash Apps are optional. You do not have to. I will be reading through the standard comments, but if there's something that you want to get in front of my eyes, haters too. You can send it through the Cash App. You know me. I am your host, Tanya TKO. I'm a certified clinical hypnotherapist. I'm a certified life coach with a specialty in relationship coaching. And I am, on this channel, we assist people who are ready to take the steps. We don't force self-love onto anyone. And the topics that we talk about are never about the subjects. They are the canvas from which we draw parallels about our own lives. Nothing that we say here is personal about the subjects of the videos. It's personal to you because this is an opportunity for you to look within yourself. Okay, so let's jump to the TMZ article. Welcome in, everyone. Welcome. Welcome. Oh man, this is something else. This is something else. Okay. I am trying something new with my lipstick today. I'm using a gloss, but I don't know how I feel about the glossy look. I like it matte. I think I prefer it matte. Tell me what you think. All right. This will be the only time that I ask you what you think about my makeup. Hey. All right. Here we go. So TMZ is saying DMX ODs and in grave condition. DMX suffered a drug overdose Friday night and is currently in the hospital, and the prognosis is not good. Sources close to the rapper tell TMZ the OD occurred at his home at around 11 p.m. Our sources say the overdose triggered a heart attack. DMX was rushed to the hospital in White Plains, New York. He's in New York right now? I did not know he was in New York. Oh my gosh. Wow. In White Plains, New York, and is in critical care. We're told he has some brain activity, quote unquote. Another source says he's in a vegetative state and doctors have cautioned he may not make it. As we've reported over the years, DMX, who was the cornerstone of the Rough Riders label, has battled substance abuse and has been to rehab several times. His last rehab stint back in 2019 came after, relapse stint came back in 2019 after he completed a 12-month sentence for tax evasion. At the time, we're told DMX hadn't relapsed, but checked himself into rehab out of fear he might again, as he felt temptations to use creep up again on him. DMX made his return to the stage following rehab in December 2019 when he hit Hackason in Las Vegas, chatting it up and taking photos with fans before he hit the stage. And it says during the Las Vegas show, he took a moment to tell fans, when you fall down, get back up. Okay, I'm not going to do that. Everyone here has been through some SHIT, and you never know what God is willing to do for you until you need him to do something for you. DMX was also in the verses with Snoop, it looks like. It says last we saw him perform was in July 2020 when X, they're calling him X, faced off against Snoop Dogg in a versus battle, which saw more than 500,000 viewers tune in, proving he still had an incredible ability to bring an audience. We will, of course, update as information becomes available regarding his current situation. Now, let's take a listen to his video. The video that he has where he is talking to the crowd about stuff happening in your life. Let's see.
Struggle to fall down and get back up. Everybody here has been through some shit that was hard. And you know what? You'll never know what God is willing to do for you until you need him to do something for you. You won't know that he's willing to pick you up unless you fall down. You won't know that he's willing to help you find your way unless you get lost. This is for all the real people. Whatever type of light you got, camera light, flashlight, phone light, light up, light this motherfucker up, baby. Come on, baby.
Okay, so let's turn off this music because YouTube, it does not feel that. Okay. All right. Let's go. Okay. So Amber is saying we could tell how he rapped that he was on some drugs, lady. TKO, you not being too ladylike now. Why are you talking about a quote unquote brain dead person? Let him rest. Why did you click on the video of a person? Why did you click on the video? You know what we were talking about when you came over. What we're going to do is we're going to read a little bit of his history. I'm going to jump over to the Cash Apps and read some of those, the comments you all have brought in. Brian Harper sends $2 and says, discuss Lisa Ray defend white man compared black women to toaster. Okay. Timothy sends $10 and says, for support for the show with the fist up in the air. Thank you. All right. So let's, I'm going to also read a text that I got in about this whole situation. Okay. So the person who broke this story to me, says DMX is brain dead, drug overdose. I think this is very touchy, but there's a self-love message. There may be a knockout in your following struggling with any form of addiction. This is actually sad. DMX has always been very transparent about his drug abuse. Make the small changes so something like this doesn't happen again. And then they come back and say, look, just some points. I think it's sad that DMX sold all those records, sold 74 million records worldwide and a net worth of 1 million, down from 10. Sad. I also seen some content creators saying they didn't feel bad. We all self-abuse in some way, but I feel terrible because I don't know his pain. This is relevant to Whitney, Amy Winehouse, etc. Sad. At the bare minimum of $10, that's $740 million. Habit or not, that's sad. $10 per record, and that's being generous because back in the days, album cost money. Even the way people invest in music is different now. There is no quote unquote event of going to the record shop, getting the album. You stream it for a lousy $10 a month and have access to everyone's music. The investment is lousy nowadays, and a lot of these artists are smoke and mirrors and not even selling pure sales. That's interesting. All right. We're going to look at some of the Iyanla Fix My Life clips, and then we're going to read DMX's history. This is really sad. Carl is saying he had a drug problem for decades. Let's pray that the brother make it out alive. Yes, there's 2,153 people on this broadcast right now. Go ahead and thumbs up. I'll put the banner across the bottom for those of you who are asking what the Cash App is. There it is. You can support the show with the Cash Apps. And let's go forward. Let's get this Iyanla clip up here. Okay. So, okay, in this clip, she asks him whether or not he has a drug problem. And so let's scroll back. All right.
Help me. Help me. And I will accept whatever you offer me in this moment, okay? Okay? And I'm going to ask you, and then I'm going to be done with it. Are you high?
No.
You're not high right now. Okay. No drugs, no alcohol. Okay.
Well, she asked me not to. I was gonna smoke some weed, but she was like, she wants you.
Okay. I said I'm gonna ask you.
Yeah.
I'm done.
So that's what I would have been.
Do you have a drug problem now?
I will always have a drug problem.
Tell me about that.
Just because you stop getting high doesn't mean that you don't have the problem, because it's a constant fight every day. Every trigger that was a trigger when you got, it's still a trigger. Whether you act on it or not, it's something different. But I will always, until I die, I will always have a drug problem.
Okay. Now, when you talk about drugs, tell me what you're talking about.
I smoke weed, I drink, coke, crack. Now, I don't really with that. You mean with the coke and the crack? Now, since I've been home from prison almost 3 years. Slipped a couple times, but I got right back up.
You said the crack, the cocaine. There was a time when that was a challenge for you?
Yes, a major one. I just one time when I first got signed, when I damn near went out of my mind, because before when I do my little robberies here and there, whatever, I ended up with a couple $100. You can't really go long on that. But now, when all I got to do is make a phone call, and she sends me $1,000, my business manager. I mean, like now we're talking a drug problem. As bad as it may have seemed before, it was nothing like it was when I got money.
Was there a time when you felt, I've got to stop this or I'm gonna die?
I don't know if I actually said to myself, or I will die, but I knew I had to stop this because I felt like I was just gonna lose my mind and do something I'd really regret because of the paranoia. And it's like, you hear things louder and, you think people are scheming, and that's what scared me more than dying. I mean, it's a lonely feeling. It was a lonely feeling. And I thought about blowing my head off a few times. The only thing that stopped me was I had children.
Oh my goodness. That is sad. Oh my goodness. All right. What are your thoughts about this? I want to hear some of your thoughts. You know what? I had not seen that full show because remember when it first aired, they didn't have all the clips up online. And I did not know that he had admitted that I'd always heard the rumors that it was crack, but I did not know that he actually had admitted this in public that it was crack. This is deep. I need to just, oh my goodness. You know what? I'm going to read some of your comments, and then I don't know why this just feels so painful to me, because um you could hear him in the interview, and he seems like something is a little off. He says he's not high, but something seems like it's a little off. And his jerky movements and, the way that he's acting and stuff, it reminds me of all of the throwaway people that you would see walking around in the Bronx and Harlem in the 90s, and how we made fun of those people, when we were kids. And we just, it just, I'm at a loss for words. We're going to watch another Iyanla clip. I'm going to read some of your comments. We're going to go to Wiki and read about his bio, where he comes from and stuff like that. It's real sad. When I was young, I was on the set of Belly. And I was on the set of Belly when DMX was acting, right? When I was on the set of Belly, I got a chance to meet Method Man, Nas. I did not meet DMX. He was just always on set, but he was always far from where I was. I got a chance to meet Louis Rankin, who is dead now as well. And it's just, it's painful. It's painful to see something like this hit so close to home, and all of the ideas, like how the person sent me this message and was talking about how other content creators are like, well, I don't care, and this, that, and the other. I just, and before we came on live, I saw some of your comments as the broadcast was posted, and some of you were like, he made toxic music, this, he, that. And this is definitely an opportunity for us to, I don't know, look a little bit deeper, and look at the pathologies that exist inside of not only his life, but inside of our lives, because these are what these teachable moments about. These teachable moments are about what's happening inside of our lives, and how addictions, self-abusing behaviors show up, as well as different ways that we can shift for empathy, etc. Let me read some of these cash apps, and then we'll watch the next Iyanla clip, and then we'll go from there. Okay, Brianna sent $1 and says, hopefully this goes through. It went through with some heart eyes. Thank you. It went through, Brianna. And Yolanda sends $5 and says, it's so important to love yourself, with a teary face emoji. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And so let me see some of your comments here. There's 27 people on live, so please know that your comments will be moving very quickly. So I won't be able to see them all, but I will catch the ones that are newest down at the bottom. Okay. What's the title of the song? Anybody know? I don't know what we're talking about in the comments there. Bunch of hearts with different colors. Wait, why is the black heart so small? Smaller than all of the other hearts. That's weird, right? Love you too. I know it's real, but prayers up for you too. Okay. Chris, yes, anything that destroys a person is not of God. He needs spiritual intervention. Well, he was talking about God, and, God shows up in many different ways on this earth, in the way that gives life as well as when it's going out. If you're a perfect person, raise your hand while y'all judging. Are there people here judging? Oh, it's going so quick. I'm trying to catch them. Addiction is a very dangerous disease. DMX have been suffering for some years with addiction, mental illness, struggling with past demons. He was introduced to drugs, crack at a very young age by his so-called mentor. That betrayal was hurtful for him being exposed to toxic people and him not wanting to be held accountable for his toxic actions. He has fought so hard to get clean. Wow. So I think I read that he was introduced to crack at the age of 14. He didn't stand a chance. Jamila says he said what started it was they laced his blunt. Damn. That's tough. That's tough. All right. So let's look at this next Iyanla clip. And I don't know. This whole thing is just stunning to me.
You are
The whole thing is stunning. We'll jump around inside the clip because the clip is 5 minutes long. So let us get ready to watch this right here. The name of this clip is Iyanla to DMX. Do you want to live clean? Oh, it looks like we can't watch the entire video anyway. Or can we? I don't know. There was something weird that was just there. Oh my goodness. Gay bad body dad. How do we get past this? Okay, let's see. Oh, it's lagging. Give it a moment. How are you all doing out there?
So I'm like, wow.
Okay, hold on. It's up.
I got what I wanted. You know, son, my firstborn, on top of the world.
Yeah, so he says he's clean, but
so I'm like, wow.
Look at these movements, his mannerisms.
Son, my firstborn, on top of the world. And I was the one who actually carried him in a little backpack thing that you put on the front. Like, I was that good of a parent.
To him.
Yeah.
And you don't have a relationship with him today because?
Because he doesn't want one.
He doesn't want one.
He's never wanted one.
Never. Your son never wanted a relationship with you. And you know that to be true because?
Never called me. Ever. He didn't call me one time. And I was so happy. Like, yo, my boy called me. I answered the phone. Like, yo, we need some money. Like, just please allow me to, let me do more than just provide for you, with food and clothes. Like, I was like, yo, just like, is there anything you need to talk about ever? Like anything going on now? What's going on in your life? And, it's like pulling teeth.
Well, what if that's just his personality?
But he talks to his mother.
What if that's his special?
He talks to his mother.
Do you have a problem with the fact that Xavier's close to his mom?
No. I think children should be close to their mother. I mean, it's natural.
Your family is concerned that any day now.
Don't say my family. Don't say my ex-wife. And you said my son, but I don't have a relationship with him anyway. So.
Would you like to have one with him?
At this point, it doesn't even matter.
So you just said to me that you are a father, and you said there's only
people are people. People are people. And as much as I'd like for him to be my best friend, you may not have to accept the fact that people are people, and just because he's my son doesn't make him automatically my best friend.
Do you want to have a relationship with the eldest?
Really matter.
I'm asking you.
I just said it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
I'm indifferent at this point. I've for 20 years, I've busted my ass to be a friend, be a mentor, to be all that. And just look the other way and no, I'm cool. Like, come on. When if he wants a relationship, I'll be there.
He wants one.
Right.
He wants
the one call I got.
He wants.
We need some money.
He wants a relationship.
I wish you believed me as easily as you believe these random people who talk about me.
I do believe you.
And as easily as you believe me.
And I believe you when you say that you want to be a father, but then I get confused when you dismiss your son.
No, because listen, he doesn't want a relationship. I know him. You don't know him. I know him. I've known him his whole life.
I find it interesting that he thinks you don't want a relationship with him.
Wow.
Well, let me just share this with you. Because from your mother, your son, your wife, even your friends, all of them has said this one thing to me. I'm waiting for the day I get the call that he's dead.
My son said he's waiting for the call?
Yeah. Your son is waiting for the call.
Oh.
Your friends are waiting for the call.
Man.
Can you hear that people who love and care about you are afraid you're going to die if you don't?
I don't care about what people are concerned with.
Okay. Do you have the courage and the willingness to get up every day and look yourself in the mirror knowing that you're clean of everything? Do you want to live your life as a clean man?
When you say clean, no weed, no drinking, nothing.
Nothing.
Why? No.
You don't want to live your life clean.
Why would
don't want is to why? Because it makes you a clear, pure vessel for the voice of God. That's why.
I think I'm exactly where I need to be with God. If it gets to the point where, I stop drinking and smoking weed, then, that's what it's meant to be. But I'm always exactly where I'm supposed to be when I'm supposed to be there.
You believe that?
Yes. That's why I'm still here.
What?
Where was God when you put that first line of cocaine in your system?
Right there.
God was right there.
Right there. Yeah. And that's why God gives me the blessings that he's giving me.
And what if your time is running out?
Well, everybody's time is running out.
Okay. All right.
Beloved,
if I drop dead right now, I will have fulfilled the purpose that God had me to do.
Well, it's above us now. We heard the man's own words. It's above us now. Wait. I've never seen that clip before. I only wanted to play a little bit of it, but it was so engaging. I couldn't even turn away. He has fulfilled his purpose. He said God was with him sniffing coke. What more do we say? I'm sorry. What more can we say? I'm sorry. I was feeling terrible and all of that, but we heard from the man himself. Let me check some of these Cash App comments. We heard from him ourselves. Paula sends $5 and says for support. Thank you, Paula. Listen, listen. Christy sends $5 and says maybe he'll pull through like Lamar Odom. Well, I don't think Lamar Odom had very little brain activity. I think he just had an overdose. But when you stay for a certain amount of time without oxygen to your brain, somebody says, what y'all gloating on that man? I hope people are not gloating. I never understood addiction because I grew up as a foster child. That was enough troubles for me. I remember this interview as if it were yesterday. He was a narcissist. He didn't care about anyone. You know what? What is it? Can somebody find the, I remember there was a clip where he hollered at her and he stormed out of the interview. He was like, this interview is over. Can you find me that clip? We're going to read the the Wikipedia page. There's more than 3,000 people on this broadcast right now. Go ahead and thumbs up the video. There's a scrolling thing. If you want me to get one of your messages and read it on air, the Cash App link is below. You can text me your message to Cash App. Fran says $3 and says, this is sad to watch. Very, very sad to watch. So if somebody can find me that clip and send it to me, TanyaTKO.com/contact or TanyaTKO.com, click on contact and send me the clip that he had with Iyanla where he stormed out. I wanna see that right there. So let's go over to the Wikipedia page. And read just some of his history. So we have about 2-3 minutes for you to go grab the clip and send it to me. I just need one person to send it to me. But if everybody thinks somebody else is going to send it, then nobody sends it. All right, so here we go. If you all can see this, let me make it larger for you. And it looks like even that's too small. Let's make it even larger. Okay. All right. All right. It says here, Earl Simmons, born December 18th, 1970, better known by his stage name DMX, Dark Man X, I never knew that's what what DMX stood for, is an American rapper and songwriter. He begun rapping in the early 1990s and released his debut album Is Dark and Hell Is Hot in 1998 to both critical acclaim and commercial success, selling 251,000 copies within the first week of release. Okay, see, this is where he was on Belly. Yeah. Let's scroll down. Let's see his early life, if we can see that. Okay, yeah, early life. Earl Simmons was born in Mount Vernon, New York on December 18, 1970, the son of 19-year-old Arnett Simmons and 18-year-old Joe Baker, and was raised in Yonkers, New York. He has no middle name and was simply named Earl at birth. Earl was the second child, Arnett, who had given birth to a daughter, Bonita, 2 years prior, as well as, 2 years prior? She was 19, started having children, oh my God, at 17, as well as one daughter, Shayla, and two stillborn sons after Earl. Good God Almighty. Barker did not want Simmons to keep her son and cut off almost all contact with the family as soon as Earl was born. So Barker is the father, Simmons is the mother. As soon as Earl was born, as a child, Simmons suffered greatly from bronchial asthma, being taken to the emergency room almost nightly due to him waking up unable to breathe. He was brought up in the Jehovah's Witness faith. At some point in his childhood, Simmons was hit by a drunk driver while crossing the street and suffered minor injuries. He claims his family could have received as much as $10,000 in a legal settlement, but his mother refused to open a case as she claimed it went against her faith. Oh, wow. Simmons went through a disjointing childhood that included being beaten by his mother and her various boyfriend so badly that he lost his teeth and sustained numerous bruises and cuts on his face. When Simmons was 5 years old, his family settled in Yonkers, New York. At the end of the 5th grade, Simmons was kicked out of school and sent to Julia Dickman Andrews Children's Home for 18 months. When he was 14, Simmons began wandering the streets of Yonkers to escape his mother's abuse and eventually found comfort in befriending stray dogs that walked the streets at night. Shortly after he began doing this, his mother once again sent him to a boys' home. During his, During his, I had no idea about all of this. It says, during his stay at the boys' home, Simmons bonded with other students from New York over their shared love of hip hop. And after performing for his friends, they encouraged Simmons to continue writing music to the behest of his teacher. When he returned home, Simmons met Reddy Ron, a local rapper, who, impressed with Simmons' beatboxing skills, asked him to become his partner. Simmons chose the name DMX, which came from an instrument he had used at the boys' home, the Oberon DMX drum machine. It later also interpreted as Dark Man X. Wow. You know what? You all can go to Wikipedia and finish reading some of that for yourselves. I mean, I think that this is an interesting story with different turns and twists, and it really is a show of how a person can be self-abusing, not realizing they're self-abusing, or realize they're self-abusing, not wanting help, and come to terms with the abuse that it is that they receive, or the abuse they're receiving from themselves. It seems like he had a tumultuous past, a tumultuous childhood filled with violence and displacement and pain and injury. And then for a mentor, quote unquote mentor, to have introduced him to crack by lacing his blunts. This is just a tragic story. Tragic story. Let me check my email to see if some of you have sent me this DMX story. Give me one moment. I'm looking for it now. All right. So, okay, perfect. So Charmaine said DMX storms out. Go to 6 minute and 30. But there's no link here, darling. Or maybe you sent it in a different email. No, dear, you didn't include the link. Charmaine, hurry up, email me the link. Oh, okay. She just sent. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. We're going to watch the part where he storms out of this interview just to kind of get a sense for the many sides of him. And then we're going to have the rest of the discussion and then we're going to go from there. So let me grab this link real quick. I got to log into my email. But I want to hear how some of you feel. Okay, hold on. Okay, and then Buddha Fly just sent me the link for a video with Iyanla, DMX, and his son Xavier getting together. Isn't that cute? He named his son X. I think that's cute. All right, give me 1 second. Let me hop into my email. I'm gonna get those Cash Apps in a second. Okay. Let me I need to get over to the other email address to grab this link. I really don't know. Look, it seems like he came to terms with the fact that his life was where it was. So I'm going to be okay with the decision that he was okay with. You know what I mean? I'm going to be okay with the decision he was okay with. And then what we'll do after this is we may have a call-in show if you all want to call in on this subject. Give me 1 second. I'm just still setting up the video to come to screen. All right. Including the audio. And here, hold on. Here it is. All right. So here, and then she said, jump to 6 minutes and 30 seconds. Let's scroll and see what it is that caused him to storm out of the interview. All right. So we will go to, wait, this is DMX and his son. I don't think this is the right interview. Is it? Hold on. I'm talking about the one where he was in the studio and he stormed out. Did he storm out when he was talking to his son? Give me 1 second. Let me just go back to the email. Give me 1 second. This is that's the okay. So this is the same link that Buddha sent. Okay, so let's take a listen to this, and then we shall read a few more comments, and then we'll go from there. So let's make this larger for you all to be able to see. All right. It's not getting larger. All right, there it is. Here we go.
Understand your relationship with him, why you didn't talk to him. Because he wants to understand why you didn't talk to him.
He looks hurt.
You were always, but most of the time, very hostile, and it was always.
Towards you?
No, but just in the house, the way you would talk made me feel like beneath you. Even what you were saying was good.
Just give me an example of how I spoke to you that made you, you know what I'm saying, feel like you were,
I mean, it was years ago.
Just one example. Just one, since I've done it so much. This is such a major
what
part.
About today?
Lady, shut up, man.
Whoa.
I'm talking about, no, listen, man.
Listen,
man, I'm not going for this.
I was talking to Xavier.
Damn, y'all, for real.
I was talking to Xavier. I'm not intimidated by you.
You gotta be intimidated, man. Stop running your mouth.
What about today?
I'm not even gonna have this debate, man.
What about today?
You do that.
And
we'll talk. Will she stop running her mouth? Damn it. That's what we'll man.
What in the world? You know what? Human beings are so complex. Let's skip through this a little bit just so we could This is something else. Wow. Wow. He really went off. And he's talking about he's okay being high. Oh, his son is crying.
No. Oh, okay. All right. I'm sure I made that clear.
Wow. Okay. So they start out hugging. Wow.
Oh, he's here.
This is something else.
Yeah. Hey.
When that demon of addiction get on you.
It's making me cry, man.
He looked real happy to see him. Man, this is touching.
My baby. My baby. You always gonna be my baby. Always. Always. That's why we never talk.
Can't talk to you.
Why not?
Because of all you've done.
Loving essence.
What do you mean? Like,
loving essence. Why don't you sit down? And that's what we're going to do. We're going to talk now.
I watched from this to here.
Wow, he hasn't seen his son in so long.
Wanted to, teach you the stuff a father's supposed to teach his son. And help you whatever I could. I always extended like, you need to talk about anything, and I just never talked to me. But I hope you didn't think I didn't love you. No. Oh, okay, all right. I'm sure I made that clear. Like, even just to walk by, I love you. I mean, like, if you said, just that,
Can I hold that for you? Because you're not going to do that right now. Not right now.
You just give me a complex about smoking a cigarette.
Hey, come on, let me hold it for you. I promise I'll give it back to you. I'll give it back
Let's do it clean.
Let's do it clean. From your son. Thank you.
So what's going on, man? Different?
Yeah. Lots been going on.
Wow, let's skip through a little bit.
I wanted to talk to you. And I said that I would support you all. I'm just keeping...
I mean, you told me on the lips.
Yeah, on the lips.
You were married to my mother, your wife.
Xavier's pain is rooted in what he believes is his father's betrayal of his mother.
Yeah, a kiss is harmless. Some women do that. There's no indication, and for one, I don't even think why would you automatically assume that I'm like, for one, if I'm why would I bring you around her? That doesn't even make sense. That's like disrespectful.
Wait a minute. So he brought him around a woman he was kissing on the lips, huh?
You know what?
The only thing I want to offer you, here's the only thing I want to offer you, is that he wants to hear what you have to say. He does.
Wow. You know what? This is deep. This whole thing is deep. I'm at a loss for words right now. I'm going to read some of your words. This is deep. I'm going to read some of the Cash App comments that have come through. Let me see what you all are saying out here, because this is something else. Okay, so Mother Earth sends $5 and says karma doesn't play. Whose karma are we talking about? Are you talking about the karma of a little boy who was beaten viciously by his mother and her boyfriends and knocked his teeth out as a child? The karma of what? What karma are we talking about? Because as I see it, DMX had a tumultuous life that was not easy from the time that he was young. So what karma are we talking about? And it's like sometimes people talk about karma, but they don't really understand how karma works. So whose karma is he living out? Is he living out the karma of his mother, who by the time she was 16 was already pregnant with her maybe first child? So that she was a 16-year-old pregnant. What was her childhood like? If she was beating her child mercilessly by the age of 5, he was going out wandering the streets. What was his mother's childhood like? So whose karma? Whose karma? I want to know, whose karma are we talking about? Because so he's now in a vegetative state. DMX is now in the hospital in a vegetative state. Yes. However, the maladies that have been happening to DMX have been happening since before he was born. He was born into a life with strife. Let me read the next one. Dominique sends $5 and says, that was the drugs talking. Child, listen. Okay, Anna sends $2 and says, people tar die doing what thy like that is happiness for the. Okay, maybe she means people are going to die doing what they feel is happiness for them. I'm not sure. There was I know we only got a short amount of space, but the abbreviations were too much. Rochelle sends $1 and says, what do you think what he says about his children? Look, you know what? When a person is in the grips of battling an addiction, the stuff that they say is just all over the place. Matthew sends $10 and says, thank you for all you do from a fellow Bronx Knight. Hey, wait, BX in the house, BX. BX in the house. All right. So let me send you your heart. Yeah, this is interesting. Personally, all right. Cassandra sends $2 and says, can't trust an addict for what he says while using. I mean, that's the thing. I'm learning that. I don't know addicts, but I will tell you my experience when I was in hypnotherapy school. We had to go to AA meetings in order to get as extra credit. We would go to AA meetings. Keishia sends $1 and says, because you have haters in your comments, love you. Thank you, Keishia. Do I have haters in the comments? Haters, calm down. Say, you know what? Send me your hate and I'll read it online. Send it through the Cash App. Send it. $5 minimum for the hate. Extra hate, put some stink on it. Add 10, 50, 100. Go ahead, do that. Denise sends $2 and says, I personally know childhood trauma is the worst. Yeah, absolutely. And we have 4 more comments in the Cash App. So I'm going to read some of these comments over here, and then we're going to jump back and forth between the two. Jump back and forth. Jen says, stop that, keep it in the family, BS. Juju says, it's being reported that he suffered heart attack too. Yes, we talked about that in the beginning of the video. Have you analyzed Demi Lovato's new documentary? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Her documentary is available on YouTube for free, I believe. I don't know what the documentary is about and how that relates to us on this channel as far as self-love. Tell us more. Tiffany says they didn't say he was brain dead, though. We are hearing that from TMZ that there's very little brain activity. That is brain dead. Anthony, and we talked about this in the beginning. Scroll back. You can scroll back. Anthony says, let's just ask God to touch him right now. He is not dead yet. Pray and speak life over the man. I'm just praying for him, says LaShanta. Let's go back to the Cash Apps. And you can go ahead and send your comments either way that you choose. Elle sends $1 and says, childhood trauma is no joke. Absolutely. And she also says Dara. Dara is also her name. So, Taisha. Taisha sends $15 and says, I need guidance. You have great advice. Book and dollar. So the book is... This is the book of affirmation, self-love. It is available on my website. People keep asking, where do you get it? It's sold out on Amazon worldwide right now. On my website, you can get it if you click on the shop area. This is a book. All you have to do is rewrite the affirmations right before you go to sleep. Feel the affirmations in your being and your life begins to change. The book is $20 and is available autographed copies at no extra cost on my website. So you get the book for $20 with a free autographed copy in it. and it's sent out directly to you. Give it about 2 weeks to ship. So put your order in now so you can get the book, because each one is autographed with a specialized message from me to you. So it takes a little time to go through all of the books. So just give me some time on that. Okay. Thank you, Taisha, for asking about that. Ashley sends $5 and says, X had heavy stuff never addressed from childhood. This is why it's so important to go to therapy. It's so important, especially if you find yourself in the grips of being addicted to food, addicted to shopping, addicted to self-abusing through relationship, addicted to any type of substance. Because one thing that we don't realize is that when we're addicted to food, we're addicted to the chemicals in the food. And much like we've already, go watch some of these documentaries on sugar. There's some of you that can't break your addiction to sugar. And it grips onto your brain. I think it taps into the pleasure centers that morphine, or I believe it's morphine, hits sugar. So you need to be very careful with how we pass judgment on others, because in our own lives, many of us are addicted to different things. It just so happens that those things are not outlawed. Imagine if they outlawed sugar, how some of you would be out there paying $100 for a sip of Coke. All right, let's go forward. Okay. Jacosta sends $3 and says, Jesus is Lord. Everyone repent. That's in capitals. Blessings, Dot. Okay, well, let me send you some hands up to the sky, Jacosta. Repent, damn it, repent. Repent on your soul. All right, Leisha sends $10 and says he was dealing with demons and he used drugs to do so. Sending you a heart, yeah. He was dealing with a lot. But remember, these stories are not really about the person. These are an opportunity for us to look within ourselves. How many of us are ignoring pathologies that exist in our own lives? How many of us are avoiding going to therapy to address some of our childhood trauma? So we announced this in the beginning of the video. Let's not make this about DMX. Let's make this about you. Okay, let's make this about you and what changes you may be able to make. Okay, Vernon sends $20 and says, as a licensed case social worker, license, what does the C stand for? As an LCSW, I see this in our community daily, must stop. He sends $20. Thank you, Vernon. Yeah, I mean, this is real. And the thing about it is that the war on drugs has made a lot of us have animosity towards addicts. Like I said, when I was in hypnotherapy school, we went for extra credit, we would go to AA. So I went to a few AA meetings. And when I went to the AA meeting, I was in tears, so much so that people thought that I was an addict, right? And I was in tears because all of the things that I had learned about addicts was a lie, that we criminalize addiction and we throw away addicts as criminals. But when I went to that AA meeting, I saw teachers, mothers, soccer moms. I saw sons, daughters, office workers, co-workers, bosses, business owners. I saw students. I saw young people. I saw old people, men, women, black, white. I saw all different types of people whose lives were gripped by addiction. And I realized that calling an addict a criminal and criminalizing addiction and making us, and this whole war on drugs, and the drug addict becomes the enemy. And remember, they had that war on drug until that opioid epidemic came down on their ass. And you know how the opioid epidemic skipped the Black community because they dehumanized us and thought that we didn't need pain medication, that we didn't feel pain. And so they would not prescribe the opioids to us. And the doctors were being given incentives to prescribe these, like this new cure for pain, but they didn't tell the doctors about the addiction that it caused. So when soccer moms started showing up outside heroin houses with their babies left in the car while they're in there sucking dick for tricks, Then people was like, no, when they started seeing white women as the face of the heroin house, then all of a sudden, they wanted to do something. Then all of a sudden it was like, let's feel empathy. But by then we have already solidified our angst and anger towards addicts when addiction is a disease. And people who are addicts are in the grips of this disease. There are people who have genes that make them more susceptible to being an addict, and drugs alter your chemistry so that you're not able to live off of the drugs. And so this is why when people go through withdrawal, they make it look cute on TV, but people die going through withdrawals because your brain is no longer the same. Your body chemistry is no longer the same without the substance. You have to have that substance just to be quote unquote normal. So it's not as easy to get away from as we think. And Isaiah is saying Demi Lovato struggled too, ... but God, and sending $5. I don't know what we're talking about in terms. So Demi Lovato had an addiction as well. This is very interesting. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we have Kimberly who sends $2 for support, which is the 8th message. So I'm going to read a few more of your messages over here, and then we're going to come back to the Cash App messages. But this is definitely something else. Okay, so I'm looking for some of your comments now. So if you want to post your comments through, go ahead. I'm looking. Marky Mo, inbox me with your Cash App tag for blessings. This is a person who is scamming. Do not give anybody in the comments your Cash App tag. These are the people who come and take your Cash App from you. And Lioness says, facts queen of the South, a lot of doctors are drug addicts. A lot of people are functioning drug addicts. You wouldn't even know. Like I'm telling you, when I went to this meeting, I did not see people shaking and scratching. I didn't see that. I didn't see people like this, like the people that we see nodding off on the trains. I didn't see that. I saw vibrant, thriving people who were in school, at work. There was a young lady who was talking about how she was a weekend alcoholic and she would get drunk during the week, she never drank. On the weekend, she would get drunk, go home, sleep with people unprotected, not know where she show up, and drunk out in the street, stumbling, falling over. But Monday through Friday, she was good. And she thought because it was Monday through Friday that she didn't have a problem. But then she started engaging in these illicit sexual activities and all this other stuff. And she hated herself and just was going further and further down into this descent. So I'm saying addiction shows up differently in people's lives. And I personally, when I was in Miami, I knew girls who got down like that. They would get drunk, high on the weekends. During the week, they would just live. On the weekends, they would be in the VIP. These were blancas. So they were in the VIP, sucking D. They were doing and a lot of these stars that you all idolize, they doing some real crazy stuff. I'm telling you, if you don't have insert to the circles, like how we talked about T.I. and Tiny yesterday, there's a lot of stuff going on in Hollywood. I'm telling you, I was in Miami. I lived in South Beach for longer than I should have, and I saw a lot more than I wanted to. And there's a reason why they call it the Devil's Den. It was a lot down there. It was a lot. Let me read 2 more comments from here, and then we're going to jump back to the Cash Apps. I'm trying to catch one. Queen says, Tanya, you are so correct. Shalisha says, I have family members that made 6 figures, fully functioning crackheads. All drug addicts are not on the street like society portrays. Wow. See what I'm saying? And let me tell you something, right? Them girls that, let me tell you, the girls that I hung out with in Miami, I remember one of them came back to the hostel and they were like talking about how they love cocaine, but to make the cocaine stretch, you mix it with baking powder and all this other stuff, baking soda and then and then it turns into the rock form. And I'm sitting there listening like, but you do know if you are turning cocaine into rock form, that's crack. And she was like, yeah, well, I don't like the high from crack, coming down from the high from crack was this, that, and the other. And let me tell you something. These same girls who were out there in Miami sucking dicks for tricks and cocaine and cracked out and all this other stuff, they took off the holy stockings, took the leaves and stuff out their hair, put in some conditioner, a little powder on their face. They went back home and got wifed up, had fat little chubby little white babies, and nobody ever knew that they spent 8 months in South Beach, Miami, sucking dicks for tricks. Let me tell you. That's the luxury that some women have, that there's an innocence and purity that is already embedded into their whiteness. So let me tell you. But there was a lot of stuff going on out there, stuff that I would just listen and be like, I don't have my pearls to clutch, but I was clutching them. By the time I heard a young lady, young 20-something-year-old woman, talking about freebasing cocaine, mixing it with baking soda and turning it into rock form, I was like, B, this is crack. and you know, it was not the face of crack that many of us had become accustomed to, but it was crack nonetheless. So while we standing over here judging these girls, okay, John is saying you cannot OD from crack. DMX didn't OD on crack because you can't. He had to be dope or fetty or pills. I don't know. Somebody's saying fentanyl probably. I don't know. Can you not OD from crack? I don't know. I don't know if you can OD. I don't know. I can only imagine if you can overdose from cocaine that you can overdose from crack. You know what I mean? He got hooked by his mentor, an older guy. Yes, we discussed that. Oh, Mike is in the house. If sugar was illegal, y'all would be on the Ocean Drive sucking little Debbies and hosting. You know something? I'm done with you. Y'all remember Mike? He called in the day before yesterday. DMX wouldn't be in his position if safe supply was an option, if dosing amounts were explained to the user, ? People's bosses are crackheads. Let's read some more of the Cash App comments and then I'll come back to some of your comments. 2,800 people on here. Go ahead, thumbs up, share with a person who doesn't know what's going on. Oh, we've gone past an hour. I'm going to read these Cash App comments and then we're getting out of here because you know I don't like the videos to be more than an hour. So, okay, Rochelle says, how should his kids go about this if it's trauma? How should his kids go about this? Get therapy. I don't know what else to say. When you have trauma, you need therapy. Anna comes back with $1 and says, Demi Lovato is recovering addict. Please review. How interesting. How interesting. Leisha, or I think it's Lisha. Did you tell me it was Lisha? You have to, hold on. Let me see if you've told me your name before. Okay. Leisha sends $5 and says, the man is in pain. I pray he finds healing. Yeah. So do we. Anna comes back with $1 and says she has an inspirational story and relatable. Really? How interesting. Is it relatable to us though? Is it? Is it relatable to us? Just curious. Rashika sends $10 and says, if you still on Easter/Jesus, you in kindergarten. Okay. Listen, people who are celebrating Easter know what it is. They know why Easter changes every year with the pagan holidays. They know why they're hiding eggs. They know. Deep down they know. At least I hope they know. Vernon says $2 and says licensed clinical social worker. Oh, and then he adds some more. MSW. Okay, Masters in Social Work. Okay. Got you. Thank you. We got that. All right. Stephanie says, thank you for the light you shine on issues. DMX issues is heartbreaking. Thank you, Stephanie. Very heartbreaking. Very heartbreaking. Tracy sends $2.50 and says, question, lied to by an addict for 11 months, HE. Oh, wow. I'm going to send you a heart, dear. Yeah, you know what? It's like that sometimes. Oh, he was on heroin and proposed and wanted to, let's see these messages. Let's see if we can find the third part of this message. Wanted to, I said no, I have kids. He can't understand. Wow, that sounds deep. That is really deep. Okay. I have to restart the app because once I scroll, it kicks me out of the date. I don't know if that does it. So Lil Eric is trying to tell people his name is Eric. Baby, I'm gonna block you if you keep spamming the comments like that. Okay? It's inappropriate. And I don't want to have to continue to delete your comments. Inappropriate. Ugh. All right. So John says, sounds like you've been through a lot. So he's talking to someone in the comments. Cocaine is cocaine. Even if you add baking soda, you can still overdose. Okay. So why is this person saying you can't overdose on crack? They trying to give us some bad crack knowledge so that people go out there and start going crazy? Mm-mm. Aisha says there was a practicing medical doctor that was my friend that lived across the hall from me that was full on coke head. A doctor during the week and a bender on weekends. Lord have mercy. Mm-mm-mm. Okay. Changes says this is sad. We can learn from this. Well, you know what? Stay on top of your addiction. Stay on top of self-care practices for loving yourself. Let's read some more of the Cash App comments. Okay. Leah sends $2 and says, "Do you offer personal coaching, mentoring?" I did up until very recently. I'm shifting my focus into creating online courses and group coaching. So, you can send me a message on my website, tanyatko.com, click on contact, send me a message, Leah. I do offer coaching. I may take on a coaching client. However, it would have to be a person who is truly motivated about creating change in their life, not anybody who is, wanting to sit by. Lisa Roxanne sends $10. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you. Conard sends $5 and says, "I don't have much, but take is and help DMX fight." Thank you, Kennard. We appreciate that. $5 supports the show. Thank you, my dear. You don't have to say that you don't have much. I appreciate every penny that comes through. I appreciate every single cent, every penny, every comment, because it's all in support of the show. You know what I mean? And nobody has to give anything, but enjoying the content and giving from your heart because you enjoy and you benefit from it and you see benefit in it and you want to support the content. Like, there are people who complain about the Cash Apps, but the people who send Cash Apps are literally the sponsors for the show. You all support the show so that all of these other people can leave their comments about how they don't do Cash App and all this other stuff. It's like, you all let me know that you support the content, that you want to hear these topics, and you have me come out. This is my full-time job, and you all are the sponsors and producers of this show. You all help me upgrade the equipment. You all help me be able to come out and create 3 videos in a day if I need to, and be able to stay on here for an hour each time and be able to interact with the comments, etc. You all make that happen. So thank you. It's not about not having a lot, but every little bit is love. And I feel the love in each of it. And even if a person who can't give and people who come and share the video, that's love. Creating comments is love. This is why with my admins, we don't really block people very often, because inside of many of the people who come out with their quote unquote hateful comments, a lot of those people have They're looking for a hug. They don't know how to get the hug. Think about when you are on your happiest day. When you're on your happiest day, are you turning around to people and being like, F you, mother, you fat, you ugly, you stink, and all this other stuff? Are you doing that on your happiest day? Think about what it would feel like on the inside that would lead you to show up that way, to try to knock a person down, to take them off kilter, or spread something out into the universe that you know that you wouldn't enjoy. So it's like people be in bad spaces, and they come out and we get a chance to sit here with each other during still the remnants of this pandemic. You all can, and we get to be together. And that's what's important. You know what I mean? Even for the people who don't know how to express, like if people get obnoxious, we'll put them in timeout, then they can get blocked. But we're here together, and human contact is so important during these times. So I thank and appreciate each one of you. There's 2,000 people, a little more than 2,000 on this broadcast, and we're 2,000 souls here together, and even more because people are playing it inside their homes and other people are listening, and we are all in this moment together. So thank you all for showing up. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for turning on the bell notification. Thank you for getting my book and investing in yourself. Thank you. You make the world a better, more loving place when you become more loving. So thank you. Thank you. And so, listen, let's continue going forward. I appreciate all of you. Alberta sends $2 and says, Cuomo just legalized marijuana in New York. That's going to make a huge difference. Thank you, Alberta. That's going to make a huge difference in who is arrested and arrested for what. And she sends another $2 and says, Cuomo trying to save his sexually assaulting behind. Lord of mercy. I'm stunned by how it's like this is why I'm saying you can't bank on these people out here because you don't know what's going on behind the scenes. You see one thing, but behind the scenes is a whole other. Cyretta sends $1 and says, love yourself, care advice. Thanks, Queen. Thank you. Self-care advice, sorry. Roshika sends $10 and says, DMX has been crying for help. No surprise. Has he been crying for help? The thing is, he's been crying out, but I don't think he's been crying for help. He's been crying out. However, he has been getting help along the way, but we cannot help people who don't want to help themselves in the same capacity that we want to help them. We just can't. We just can't. We can't help him. We can't help Denaya. We can't help Tiny. We can't help people in a greater capacity than what it is that they are willing to show up for in themselves. Camille sends $2 and says, thanks. Thank you, my dear. Thank you. And Webb sends $2. Thank you, Webb. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. And Pamela sends $5 and says, thank you for all you do with 2 purple hearts. Thank you, Pam. Thank you. Thank you. All right. And Rashita sends $3 and says, we love you, Tanya. Thank you for all you do with a red heart. Thank you, Rashita. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to read a few more comments and then we're going to jump out of here. I really do appreciate each of you showing up. We talk about these viral topics, but we talk about the viral topics because that's what the YouTube algorithm likes. So we use these as excuses to come together to really talk about changes that we can make in our own lives. As far as the DMX thing, we are sending positive energy out into the universe for him. And you know what? I'm reluctant because DMX seems like he came to peace and came to terms with not having to be here on this earth. And when he was here, what he did with his time was he used drugs, he abused himself. So if he did make it, would that create a change in his life? Or would he go back to the same self-soothing, self-pacifying through drugs? We don't know. But like we did here, very little brain activity with doctors doubting he'll ever come off. I think it's time that we start preparing ourselves and really look and see, what is it that we're doing? Each day we exchange a day of our life for the activities of that day. What are we doing with that exchange of that day in our lives? When we have one day left before our deathbed, will we think about the days that we, what? That we lived good? That the days that we spent obsessing over things that really didn't, in the grand scheme of things, didn't matter? You know what I mean? So I'm just going to say, go out there and love one another. Most importantly, what? That's right, love yourself. And part of loving yourself is self-care. Part of loving yourself is getting help when you need help. Part of loving yourself is continuing to do the work, to put one foot in front of the other, and to just, oh, I'm seeing a silverfish. Which one of you out there is about to get pregnant? It's running across the wall. Hey, brace yourself. So my question besides the silverfish question, my question to you is, what is it that you're willing to do in exchange for the days of your life? Your life is made up of these moments. How much are you willing to continue to put one foot in front of the other and continue to try new things, continue to try just each and every day? You know, I have an associate who laughs at me when I take these trainings and these courses. Like the last one that I took, he laughed at me and told me that I was scammed and they took my money and all this, that, and the other. And I'm like, you know what? Well, I wasn't scammed. I was at the event that I paid for and invested my money in. And as long as I continue to invest in myself and my development and my business, I'm okay with that. I just invested in another event to be able to learn about creating funnels and ways to be able to nurture you all and create better customer experiences, etc. And I will continue to invest in myself. Even if I get just one thing that gives me an idea that leads me towards another thing, then my money was well invested. What is it that you are going to do to invest in your life? What are you going to do to have the life that you want? Even if something in the past didn't work out, like remember all throughout the pandemic, the Trump team kept saying, well, Trump closed down the borders and yeah, but okay, so that was one thing that you did and it did what it did in that moment. What else are you going to do? What are you going to do next? If that didn't get you the desired result, do you just be like, oh, well, I tried, or do you continue? If you've gone to rehab before, if you've had a diet plan before, if you've fallen in love before and all of these things have fallen apart, what are you willing to do to continue to put one foot in front of the other to try again? And on that note, that is my message for this video. And I will see you in the next one. Tanya TKO, and I'm out. Peace. That silverfish is really coming closer. Listen, I'm telling you, one of you out there is going to have a blessing soon. Just write to me and let me know when I become the godmother, okay? And invest in yourself. Get my book of affirmations, Self-Love. It's available on my website right now. It's a powerful book that changes your life. It costs $20. Are you willing to try the book? $20 to create a change in your life. Are you willing to just do it? All you have to do is rewrite them right before you go to sleep or right after you wake up. Are you willing to invest in yourself? Oh, you know something? I felt something crawling on me. Okay, you know, after I saw that silverfish, it's time for me to get off. Because, you know, oh, I'm imagining things now. TanyaTKO.com, click on shop. I'll see you all in the next video. Peace. And if you send the Cash App messages when I'm not online, I'll still get them and I'll send a message back to you. Peace. That was something.